Good afternoon. My name is Garrett Simpson. I'm here to discuss the marketing opportunities that lie ahead for the Los Angeles Clippers as a franchise. First, let's discuss your brand a little bit as an NBA franchise. It's not good. The Los Angeles Clippers currently have an all-time winning percentage of 382, and that's actually the worst in professional sports, and that spans from 1971 to the current year of 2014. The franchise is virtually nomadic, having played in Buffalo, San Diego, and now Los Angeles, and it's actually on their fourth arena. And that's interesting because what's happening is you're starting to spread a fan base out a little bit. There's not a true home of sorts for some of these fans. You have a history of some poor front office decisions and bad draft choices, from Danny Ferry to Danny Manning to Bo Kimball to Michael Olowokandi. Elgin Baylor had been giving a pretty long leash and not delivering for years, and that had gone without a fault to Mr. Baylor. And right now, you're in the midst of a public relations nightmare through the actions of your owner, Mr. Donald Sterling. There's a lack of leadership coupled with Donald Sterling's racially insensitive comments, and it's broken any and all trust between the fans, the teams, as well as your sponsors. The Clippers fans need a reason to cheer for your team. The sponsors need fans to be present at games, and Mr. Sterling's presence has prevented this from happening. What's happening too with your Los Angeles Clippers is similar to what's happening in Washington, D.C. with the Redskins and what their owner Daniel Snyder is doing. As you guys are probably aware, the term Redskins is a demonstrative term for Native Americans, and it's been the team name since its existence. And there's been more and more of a public outcry to have this name taken away. So much, in fact, that the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has removed the trademark for the term Redskins, given that it's a demonstrative term. The Washington Post and sports writers in Washington will no longer print the word Redskin, and media from Philadelphia and Buffalo are following suit. The response from the team, from the Redskins itself, continues to push back against this thought process. Owner Daniel Snyder was quoted in the USA Today in May 10 of 2013 as saying, "We will never change the name of the team." He is saying, this is our heritage and this is what we're doing. While at the same time, thousands and thousands of Americans are crying out saying that this is just wrong. Basically, in both situations, your team ownership is standing in the way of your progress. You have some strengths going for you. You're located in the greater Los Angeles area, which has 12.8 million residents according to the 2012 U.S. Census, and is the second largest metropolitan area in the U.S. The NBA Commissioner, Mr. Adam Silver, is backing the change in leadership because the change in leadership is necessary. Change in ownership is necessary. And you have a handful of marketable players. Chris Ball does ads for State Farm Insurance, Nike, Avon, and Foot Locker. Blake Griffin with Kia Motors, Subway, and Gamefly, and DeAndre Jordan has an ESPN commercial and also is highly marketable under Under Armour. What's one of your biggest weaknesses? Well, one, there's obviously the cloud of Mr. Donald Sterling. Many of his decisions are still being carried out in the franchise through front office hires and business decisions. Mass media is still reporting on his racially insensitive comments and the things that are going on in his life from a day-to-day purpose, as well as with the sale of the team. And these issues are more than just racism. It's workplace behavior. It's how your team reaches out to the fans, how the fans react to your team. These are the things that are going on by simply getting a copy of what Mr. Sterling said. The history obviously is bad with the franchise as far as on-the-court behavior, winning, basically. And you also have a proximity to the Los Angeles Lakers, which are probably the most marketable franchise, I think, in the NBA. 16 world championships. They have 31 conference titles. The team you share you guys share an arena with them now at the Staples Center. And since you two have been cohabitating that arena, they actually have won 5 NBA titles. But there's opportunities. There's opportunities for growth. The Clippers as an organization, minus Donald Sterling, have the opportunity to rail against racism and improper workplace behavior with the backing of the NBA. And don't minimize the backing of the NBA. It's a big, powerful organization, and a lot of what they say goes. You just got to remember what happened in Miami with the Richie Incognito incident. Richie Incognito was basically the face of bullying in NFL locker rooms and how not to work in a professional sports environment. Having ownership, which makes these types of comments, whether they're taken out of context or not, really prohibits an NBA franchise from moving forward. New ownership should bring in more money, new money, and there's a chance now that you can actually align yourselves, the Clippers, in a form of a rebirth with other companies looking to find a new voice, and you guys can be kind of the voice of the next generation. Some threats you're looking at, you still are going to be under constant media scrutiny. You're still going to have some advertisers looking to pull out of the situation, given that it is maybe kind of risky, and the cloud of Mr. Stirling won't go away for at least, I would say, 5 to 10 years, just because he just kind of has put his stamps all over it. But what I'm suggesting is I think you guys need to rebrand. I think you guys need to make a refocus to bring the connection to the fans back and make a connection with your sponsors back. And I think you need a whole new team name. I would just completely get rid of Clippers. You are no longer the Los Angeles Clippers. Back in the 90s, the city of Washington, D.C. was having a lot of problems with gun violence. The NBA franchise was the Bullets, and trying to disassociate itself with that, they actually changed their team name to the Wizards, and actually worked out pretty well from a PR standpoint. What I suggest for you guys is just get rid of Los Angeles. Los Angeles is the Lakers. Get rid of Clippers. Clippers is Sterling. You need to align yourself with something new, and I'm suggesting Hollywood. Hollywood is flashy. Hollywood is fun. You could sell Hollywood. And I would go with the Hollywood Knights, even though that was a minor league baseball team for a while. Hollywood Knights with a K, actually. It's exciting, it's bold, and it's different. Difference is the key here. The next, your ownership needs to be visible. And what I mean by your ownership needs to be visible, you need to be able to take your owner, be somewhat a face of the new franchise going forward from a front office standpoint, in a similar vein that Mark Cuban was with the Dallas Mavericks. That was kind of a middling franchise for generations. Somebody who came out, met with the fans. By meeting with the fans, made them feel they were part of the team. There was a connection with them. And let's not forget, you bring the fans in, you're going to bring in the marketing dollars as well. If you have that connection, you have those eyes into your arena, being part of that team, being part of the Hollywood Knights, the fans want to be involved in some respects, the marketing sponsorship dollars will follow. And lastly, I think there's going to be a lot of community outreach that's going to need to happen. You're going to need to sponsor events that tackle the issues of racism, particularly in the workplace, but really in Southern California, if not nationwide. Co-opting with the NBA is going to be a big benefit with the Clippers as a franchise to get this thing solved. Thank you.